Okay, Merry Christmas! No one is answering. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, teacher.
Okay, Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year to all. So, what day is today?
Today is
Today is
Friday, the 24th of December 2021.
so today is Friday, the 24th of December 2021, and tomorrow will be
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
tomorrow will be Merry Christmas. Tomorrow will be Saturday, the 25th of December 2021. Okay, let's sing Jingle Bells.
Okay.
ซอยสุดเลยใหม่กลิ่นสเต็กวากิวหอมเนื้อย่างเมนูระดับ
Sing Jingle Bell song.
Tomorrow is Christmas, teacher.
Yes, tomorrow is Christmas, and it's good that
But
tomorrow.
we don't have class tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't have class because it's Saturday.
Yes.
No, we will have class.
Tomorrow is Saturday. It's too long.
Okay, yes. Pulang. Tiger.
Let's try this one. Oh, there's time.
Misfortune seemed his lot. We ran into a drifted bank and then we got outside. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride
wish you a Merry Christmas.
Okay, done.
Yay.
Done with our singing.
Violet open. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Okay, so let's start our lesson in science. Okay, our lesson in science is about friction. So before we start, let's watch this video about friction.
How do things move in real life? Say a ball is moving on a flat ground and there's no external force acting on it. Will the ball eventually come to a halt? Yes, it will. Have you ever wondered why? Say you're skating on an ice rink and your friend is skating on the road. Whose movement do you think will be smoother? Definitely yours. When you hold a bottle in your hand, why doesn't it just slip through and fall? Sometimes when you're walking around in a mall, do you remember seeing a caution sign to warn you about the floor being wet? What explains all this? The answer is friction. The reason why the ball eventually comes to a halt is because of the force of friction. The reason why skating on an ice rink is easier because the force of friction is lesser there. The bottle doesn't slip through because the force of friction between your hand and the bottle doesn't allow it to do so. If the floor is wet, the friction offered by it reduces and there are chances that you might slip and fall. So what is this friction we're talking about? It's quite easy to understand its concept. Friction is nothing but a force. It is the force exerted by a surface where an object moves across it. In the first case, when the ball is moving in this direction, the force of friction is acting in the opposite direction. The force of friction offered by the ice rink floor is lesser than the force of friction offered by the road. Hence, skating on the ice rink is easier and seems effortless. The bottle does not slip down because the surface of your hand offers a friction in the upward direction. And in the case of the floor in the mall, the soapy water reduces the friction offered by the floor. In the coming lessons, we'll learn a lot more about friction. We'll see the factors affecting friction. We'll understand if friction helps us in our everyday life or not. And we will also cover the different types of friction.
Okay, so we're going to talk about friction. Okay, friction force. Can you read? Friction force.
Friction force.
Okay, let's spell friction. F-R.
Friction.
Okay, friction force. So what can you see on the picture? You see a man pushing
The man pushing
the...
The door.
Okay, so the man is pushing the door.
the door.
The direction of the door is going to the right side, which is what we call motion. Okay, and then the man used force to push the door. You called on the red arrow, this one below is what we call the force friction between the surface, the floor, and the door. Okay, the surface and the door. Okay, so learning objectives. Our learning objectives for this lesson, I can explain what causes friction and how it affects the motion of an object. I can identify and describe the 4 types of friction. Okay, so this is our learning objective for this lesson in friction. I can give examples of the 4 types of friction. Okay, so friction. Everybody read. What is friction? Friction is a force
Friction is a force that opposes
opposes
motion between two surfaces.
surface. Okay, so we have here A and B.ใช่ไหม? A is what the boy doing in A? Skating? Skiing?
Yes.
Okay, and then the boy in letter B is like doing but in the grass. So who is sliding more?
A.
Letter A, sliding more because the surface is less friction. Okay, less in friction, meaning the surface and the object slide easily because of less friction. And then letter B, the boy, the grass and his foot has bigger or greater friction. That's why it cannot or he cannot move fast as letter A. Okay, letter A move fast compared to letter B because it has less friction, and letter B has greater friction. Okay. Okay, let us read. Friction occurs. Everybody, let us read.
Friction occurs because the surface of any object is
Yes,
rough. Even surfaces that feel smooth are covered with
microscopic hills and valleys.
hill and valleys.
Okay, so friction occurs because the surface of any object is rough. Rough, แปลว่า อะไร? What is rough in Thai? Let's see. Rough. Rough is the opposite of smooth. Rough in Thai. Oh, without T.
ครุขระ
Okay. ครุอะไรนะ?
ครุขระ
Okay, so rough แปลว่า
ครุขระ
Okay, so that's the opposite of smooth. Opposite of smooth. So here you can see there are 2 objects, the surface and this one, this box. Okay, so when you see the surface, maybe we can say it's smooth, but when we use or when we see it closer, maybe it looks like this. It looks like this when we see the surface closer, or if we use microscopic hill. Oh, there's microscopic hill and valley. So it's still rough. ใช่ไหม? There's still a friction between 2 objects. Okay, wait. Okay. So the surface and the box. The surface and the box has friction because the surface is rough. It depends, okay? It depends. Now, let us read again. When 2 surfaces are
in contact, the
hills and valleys
valleys of one surface stick to the new and were placed
of
of the
the other
other surface.
surface. Okay, so look at this one example. Let's say this is a box and this is the floor. See may? This is the box and this is the floor. Now, if you applied force to push this box, the box will go to the right side. The direction will go to the right side. But sometimes it's not easy to push. It's heavy or something like it's not easy to push because the floor is rough. The floor has hills and valleys. Looks like this. That's why the box is not moving too fast because of the friction. Right? Because of the friction. Friction stops the object to move. Okay, the amount of friction depends of these two factors. Okay, number one factor, roughness of the surface. Okay, wait. Roughness of the surface. Roughness or rough, Pewa? What is rough? Okay. And second factor, the force pushing the surface or the force pushing the surfaces together. Okay. Motion and friction. Okay. Motion and friction. The friction is the one who stops the object to move. Okay. The friction is the force who stops the object to move. Okay, look at these two pictures. Look at these two illustrations. Well, the tube roll less over a smoother surface or rougher surface. Why? Okay, so if we compare this illustration and also this, which of the two or which tube will roll faster? This one on the smooth surface or this one on the rough surface?
Smooth surface.
Okay, so this tube will roll faster on the smooth surface. Simay? Because it has less
Less
friction. Okay, so this tube will roll faster on the smooth surface because it has less friction. Right. While this illustration, any rough surface, this tube will not go or will not slide faster because the surface is rough. Okay, rough. It has more
friction.
friction. It has more friction. Okay. Okay, the rougher surface because there are more hills and valleys. And the valleys are deeper. Okay, which has more friction and why? Okay, we have here 100 pounds and 40 pounds. Which of these two has more friction, do you think? The heavier one or the lighter one? 100 pounds or 40 pounds? What do you think? The heavier or the lighter?
The heavy.
Chai. The heavier is, or the heavier has more friction. Tamay, because? Let's read. The 100 pounds.
100 pound box because the force pushing together is higher, so the hills and valleys
Valleys are
are in closer contact.
contact. Okay, so this one is heavier. That's why it pushes more on the surface. ใช่ไหม? It pushes more on the surface. So the contact of the object and the surface will so close. So more friction on the heavy object. The friction factors review. Roughness. Okay, now please get your notebook in science. Let us write this one. Get your notebook in science, please. Roughness. The rougher the surface, the more hill and valleys there are, and the greater the friction. Okay, number 2 factors. Force pushing together or weight, force is increased. The hill and valleys will be in closer contact and friction will increase. Okay, please copy on your notebook in science. I'll give you 5 minutes.
เด็กๆคะที่เชอร์ให้เราเอาสมุดขึ้นมานะแล้วก็จดนะคะทีนี้เนี่ยคุณครูจะอธิบายว่าในหัวข้อที่เราเรียนในวันนี้นะคะในเรื่องของ friction ก็คือแรงเสียดทานเนาะมันจะมี2แรงนะคะก็คือมี motion กับ friction นะมันเป็น motion ก็คือการเคลื่อนที่นะคะของวัตถุส่วน friction นั้นคือแรงเสียดทานนะคะถ้าพื้นผิวลื่นนะพื้นผิวเรียบนะแรงเสียดทานก็จะเป็นไงคะมากหรือน้อย
น้อยค่ะ
ทำให้วัตถุเคลื่อนที่ได้
เร็วค่ะ
เร็วนะคะถ้าพื้นผิวไหนมันครุขระนะแรงเสียดทานก็จะ
มาก
ทำให้วัตถุนั้นเคลื่อนที่ได้
เคลื่อนที่ได้ช้าค่ะ
เคลื่อนที่ได้ช้านะคะโอเคทีนี้วันนี้นะคะจะมีคลิปนะที่คุณครูยินส่งเข้าไปในกลุ่มนะคะเป็นคลิปของคุณครูเนตรนภาเนตรรัตติการนะซึ่งสอนวิทยาศาสตร์ห้องเรียนปกตินะคะได้อธิบายถึงเรื่องของแรงเสียดทานไว้ชัดเจนมากๆเลยนะคะคุณครูอยากจะให้เด็กๆหลังจากจบชั่วโมงนี้เข้าไปชมคลิปนี้นะคะจะทำให้เด็กๆเข้าใจมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะโอเคค่ะวันนี้มีใบงานไหมคะเด็กๆ
ทบทวนค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ
Okay, copy. You have worksheet in science, right?
no teacher don't have
No, don't have teacher.
Okay.
is review
Okay. So copy this one. What number are you now? What number are you now? Number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
Okay. Okay, teacher, no problem. Done? Are you done, students?
No. I
Not
go to
yet. Not yet. Done. Tell me, done? Not yet. Faster.
Not yet.
Faster, faster. Quickly, quickly.
Okay.
Done. Yay. Let's proceed.
No, not yet.
Make a screenshot of this.
Yes.
Okay, make a screenshot.
We did, teacher. We did.
Very good. Okay, let's proceed. Amount of surface area in fluids. Okay. So we're going to talk about fluid next time. So let's focus on solid. Okay, surface area between solid. Okay, look at this one. Box. Okay, look at the box. So let us read. The amount of surface area in contact usually does not affect friction between two solids. Reason. Larger surface areas have more contact, but the pressure between the two is less. The increase in friction area is offset by the reduction in pressure. So look at this one. The box on the slide area or slide surface. Okay, so the gravity dragging the box and also the friction dragging upward. Okay, the gravity dragging the box downward and the friction stopping the box to move down. Okay, types of friction. We have here, go back. We have here 4 types of friction. The first one, let's read. Sliding.
Sliding.
Number 2, fluid.
Fluid.
Okay.
Rolling.
Number 4,
Static.
static. Okay, write this one on your notebook. Types of friction. Write this on your notebook. Types of friction.
Finish.
Teacher, copy this.
Yes, please.
Teacher, finish.
Very good. Very good. Types of friction. Sliding, fluid, rolling, static. Sliding, fluid, rolling, and static. Done? Are you done?
No.
Not yet.
Finish, teacher.
Okay, very good. Guitar.
Finish.
Okay, done. Cartoon, right? Luna?
Me, teacher. Cartoon.
Cartoon. Done? Yes? Not yet.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's start with sliding friction. Okay, let us read. Students, read sliding friction. Sliding friction is
Sliding
friction
friction is a friction force that opposes the
direction
direction of motion of an object that occurs when solid surface
slide
slide
over.
over one another.
Okay, examples. Writing,
Writing
pencil,
pencil
point,
on
and
a paper and paper.
combing your hair, combing your hair. Surface of the
Surface of
comb,
comb
comb and
and
strand
braids of
of
hair.
hair. Okay, that is what we call, or that's the example of sliding friction. When you are writing using your pencil and the paper, so on the tip of your pencil and the paper, that slides, right? When you write, it slides. See, May? So that is sliding friction. Also, when you are combing your hair, okay? Combing your hair. Ani, sliding friction. Fluid friction. Okay, let us read. The force that tries to slow
The force that tries to slow objects down when they move
move
through
a liquid.
a liquid or a gas
Yes.
is also known as
Drag
strain
or
or air
resistance.
resistance.
Okay. All gases and liquids
All gases and liquids are
fluid.
fluids.
Fluid
Fluids
as the speed
friction increases
increases. As the speed of object increases. An airplane and a swimmer both experience fluid friction. Okay, an airplane and swimmer both experience fluid friction. So when we're going to swim, we can experience fluid friction between our body and the water. When we move, when we swim, ใช่ไหม? When we swim, do like this. Our body and the water has fluid friction. Also the airplane and the air. Okay, as you can see on the picture. Friction of the body and the water. Friction of the airplane and the air. How about rolling friction? Okay, rolling friction is friction that occurs between surfaces in motion that are rolling, in which one of the surface is a wheel, roller, or ball. Examples: riding a bike, tires and ground, bowling ball and lane. Oh. Okay, example of rolling friction is, riding a bike or bicycle. Okay, riding a bicycle, tires and ground. So the wheel of your bicycle and the ground, the surface. Okay, that is what we call rolling friction. The wheel, semi rolls on the surface or in the ground. On the ground, I mean. Bowling, look at this one, bowling. Ball and lane. Okay, the ball or the ball will roll on the lane. That's why it has rolling friction. And the last one is static friction. Let us read the last one so that we can say goodbye.
Static friction is friction that occurs when the surfaces is in contact
are
or at rest, not
not
in motion.
motion.
Goodbye.
Examples:
Example, a
a
book
book resting
resting
on
on a
desk,
desk,
a potted plant
a potted plant sitting on
sitting
a
on sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Okay, so example of static friction is like this one. You just put the potted plant on the sidewalk, not moving. Shemai, it stays because it has static friction, the friction of the surface and the object. Also, like putting a book or resting a book on a desk. When you put the book on the table or on the desk, it's an example of static friction. The book stays on the surface, not moving, no motion. That is what we call static friction. Okay, that's it for today. in our lesson
And that's
of friction. And that's it. Okay, do you have any questions?
no, I don't think.
No question. Okay. So let's